Hello, everybody. I have just finished reading the third story in the 12 Days of Bookmas. It was about a girl named Nora who was going, about 12 years ago, she moved away from this area where her grandma lived and her cousin. And she used to be at her grandma's house all the time and hanging out with her cousin, Tiana, who was her best friend. So she is traveling back to that house that she left years ago when she was a kid. Her parents moved away to New York. I'm not sure where her grandma lives, but she moved away to New York and never heard anything from her grandma and aunt and uncle and cousin again, who that she used to be so close to. Now she's coming back to that home, and her grandma has just passed away. And her cousin is there at the house. She's living there. She actually lived there with her grandma until she passed away. And now she's helping clear out the house, get all her grandma's stuff together. And they are planning the funeral and stuff like that. So she's coming back down memory lane. She's feeling very sad. She doesn't understand why, when she moved away, she never got a phone call, never got a letter. Her grandma, cousin never contacted her in any way, and she doesn't understand why. And she tried to call a couple of times over the years, and there was no answer on the phone. So she kind of feels like she doesn't fit in here anymore, and she's thinking about leaving. Her uncle gives her a box that her grandma had put together for her of things that she wanted to make sure she got. And her cousin also got a box like that. And before she's about to leave and never come back, she opens the box and looks through it. And there's some books that she read as a kid that were like her favorites from her, because her grandma has like a little library in her house of books, and she would put these random sticky notes in the books, and they're just look like plain random sticky notes. And Nora doesn't understand why she put them in. Like, some books have one sticky note in a random spot, some have several sticky notes, and she can't find anything important in there when she reads it, so she doesn't understand what her reasoning was. And in the box is a little jar that says like to read or want to read, something like that. A small ceramic gray jar rests in the box. As I pull it out, I notice the words "to be read" curl along the side of it. Turning it over in my hand, I can picture exactly where it used to sit on the shelves. My grandma used to fill it with the titles of books she wanted to read, and on occasion she would let me or Tiana pick one. I realized there's really nothing else to do but see what books are left. So she opens it up, there's little strips of paper inside of it, and she expects it to have a book title written on it, but instead it says stuff like, "Nora, thinking of you today, my sweet girl. I miss your voice and rambunctious antics. I'm sure by now you've grown 6 inches at least. Love you always, Grams." She pulls another one out. "Tiana and I made your favorite peach cobbler today from the peaches off the tree out back. We added a scoop of ice cream while it was still warm. Miss you, baby." And it's all just like little memory things like that. Like times that she missed her, she would write on a little strip of paper and stick it in there. And then at the bottom of the jar is just a sticky note. She doesn't understand, and her cousin walks in and she's like, seems like she missed me and everything like that, but I don't understand why she didn't contact me at all. Why didn't she call? Why didn't she send letters? Anything. So apparently her dad got into a big fight with his mom, the grandma, and he's now passed away also. Um and he left, moved the family away, and the uncle, Tiana's dad, called him and tried to figure out how to reconcile the situation, and they got into a big altercation fight on the phone, and he just couldn't get through to him. And so the dad had gotten into a fight for some reason with her and just held that grudge or whatever and wouldn't contact her all these years, and then he passed away and never did. They tried calling her, but the phone number had been changed when she was young, so they didn't have the phone number anymore, and they moved around, so they didn't have an address either. And this was before social media and stuff, so they couldn't find her. They didn't know an address or a phone number for her, so they didn't know how to contact her. It wasn't that they were ignoring her. And I guess when she called, it just happened to be, they missed the calls those few times that she tried to call them. So, when she got a little older, the cousin said she tried to look on social media to find her, but she couldn't find her there. And Nora says, yeah, I never really got into social media, so I wasn't on there. And she said, I hired a private investigator to try to find you even. And they finally found you on the day that our grandma died. And so then I was able to contact you then, and now you're here. So she now understands how much they did try to contact her. They weren't just ignoring her. And they love her and want her back. And the cousin says, the cousin and the uncle both tell her, you should stay here. You should move in and stay here. You belong here. So at the end of the story, she decides to stay and I guess live with her cousin in her grandma's house and help her go through her things and stuff like that. I liked the story. I've liked all three of these stories so far. They're very different from each other, but I like them. I like the way they're written. They flow really well. They're easy to understand. They're simple but deep at the same time. They have good beginning, middle, and ends. Just nice short stories. Anyways, the highlighted part that says open your gift is right when they're talking about that little jar with the little pieces of paper inside of it that says want to read or whatever. Little gray jar. Small ceramic gray jar that says to be read on the side. And it says open your gift. So this is the gift for day 3. The house on there. Little square box. I'm guessing it's going to be a little jar. Maybe. Don't know for sure though. Gray jar. To be read. Oh, I like it. It's cute. It's simple but cute. Aw, that's cute. This is a little, like a thing you could put inside of a, sort of like putting inside of a, a planner. I have one in my planner. This is my personal planner. And it's got a little, like a little bookmarky thing, sort of. So it's got a little thing with the ruler on the side and little sticky notes, and it can go inside of like a notebook or a planner. That's really cool. And then the little jar says to be read, wood lid with a slot in it. Oh, look, there's a note. A little fancy note. What's it say? Empty jar. Ooh. It's a note to Nora. It says, Nora, thinking of you today, my sweet girl. I miss your voice and rambunctious antics. I'm sure by now you're grown 6 inches at least. Love you always, Grams. So it's that note from the story. That's so cute. I'll just stick it back in there again. That's my favorite. I think this is my favorite gift so far. The first one was a book. The second one was a mat, like a welcome mat, which I don't know if I can really use that one. And then this little jar. I love little jars with the little bookie marky things. Cool. I like it. All right, well, that's that. See you on the next video. Bye. Have a nice day.